All right, y'all. I know you're probably getting sick and tired of our pictures and our updates, but as we inch closer to our trip, I wanted to start a quick video about geography and kind of where we're headed so you can orient yourself around where we travel in the Bahamas. And as you hear us refer to things and as we start to pack and make plans and get a little more specific, you'll have an idea of the geography of where we're talking about. So this is a map, of course, of South Florida. You see West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then, of course, you see right here in the middle of the screen, Grand Bahama. That's where the West End and Freeport is. Those are two of the larger cities and areas in the Bahamas. The largest is Nassau, which is overwhelmingly the largest city in the Bahamas south of this area. And then over to the right hand side, you see, and we'll zoom in here, you'll see the Abaco Islands, what they call the Out Islands, the Family Islands. And this big island here is called Great Abaco. It's about 2.5, 3 hours worth of a drive from the northern tip near Cooperstown down to the southern tip here at Sandy Point. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Most of our earlier trips over to the Bahamas, we actually flew from West Palm Beach, which is a hop, skip, and a jump. Same from Miami. Some of you are connecting from Miami. You're probably talking about an hour flight at the very most when you head over. And so what I'll do is I'll zoom in here a little bit closer to Great Abaco and show you. You can see the out islands here from Green Turtle Key down to Great Guana Key, Elbow Key, where we'll be most of the time, and then further south, some of these uninhabited islands like the Pelican Keys, Toulouse, Leonard Key, etc. So let's talk about just quickly in terms of geography. You'll fly into Marsh Harbor, MHH, and Marsh Harbor used to be the third largest city in the Bahamas, but after Hurricane Dorian 2019, there's not quite as many folks. It's still in the top 7 or 8 in terms of population. And when you fly in to Marsh Harbor, let me switch views here. You're going to see Leonard Thompson International Airport. That's where you'll fly into. Uh, when we first started making the trip over here, it was literally a single building, and you spent most of your time outside in the heat and the humidity waiting on your flight. But it is much nicer now. And when you fly in on your day of arrival, you will go through customs and immigration. You will find a taxi. There are plenty of taxis, not the yellow kind, but vans and cars and trucks and things like that. They're all very kind, and you'll tell them that you want to go to the ferry dock, and they will know exactly where to head. In the information I've already shared with you is the typical cost, including tip for that type of travel. So I'll just remind you of that document that I shared. It's probably about a 10-minute drive from the airport through Marsh Harbor, through the city, to this area where you see GNL, and that is typically the ferry that we've used. I believe GNL actually purchased the crossing, the ferry crossing there, and so GNL kind of runs that now. And then when you take your ferry, or when you get out of the cab, they will help you with your luggage. I'd recommend bringing a $5 tip for the person that helps you with your luggage. They'll get it to the ferry that you'll be taking, and they'll actually get that on the ferry boat for you. And you and those traveling with you will have this beautiful trip. I would say 15 minutes max from the ferry dock on the main island over to Elbow Key. So I'll just show you that area. We'll switch views and kind of show you the geography. And you can see, again, 15-minute boat ride over on the ferry. So let's head back over to Elbow Key. Elbow Key, as you can see, is about a 6.5 to 7 mile long island, very skinny. You can see where it gets its name, Elbow, right there, the elbow portion of Elbow Key, from north here down to the southern tip at Tahiti Beach, and we'll explore that in a minute. When you come into Hopetown, into this area from the ferry, this is what you'll see. You can see this protected harbor, Hopetown Harbor. There's a lighthouse here that's a kind of a world famous lighthouse. The Elbow Reef Lighthouse is actually one of the last kerosene fueled lighthouses in the world. It's beautiful. We can talk about that later. You can climb up to the top. We'll make several trips there in our 2 weeks there. But into the harbor, you've got a crowded harbor, a lot of beautiful boats and small, large yachts, every little combination you can think of. And this is really the hub. And what I want to show you here is that there are several places that you can get off. We'll probably get off at the lower dock because our house is in this area. Some of you might get off a little bit further, maybe at the post office dock or the lodge ferry dock. And we'll talk about this in a moment, but the first thing I want to do is kind of orient everybody because we're staying in different places. So back to this view, and you can see again, you'll come into through with the ferry into the harbor, which is kind of the hub. The settlement of Hopetown is here, and then you see the Brigadoon house, and I'll zoom in. This is the house that Jeff and my mom and dad and my family, Jennifer, Leanne, we'll be staying at Brigadoon right here on the Atlantic side. So just to orient you again, you've got the Sea of Abaco here, you've got the Atlantic Ocean here to the right, to the east, and Brigadoon is right here in this area. And I'll just zoom in and switch views so you can kind of get a sense of where it is in relation to what I just showed you. And then for Shelly, for Julie's family, you guys are going to be a little bit further south, and I'll zoom out and scroll down here towards the Firefly to your house, which is Liney's Lookout. And I'm going to tell you that's probably about I would say 10-minute golf cart ride. And you've heard us talk about this, but you'll take golf cart primarily from north to south. That's the primary mode of transportation for us. And you can see where Liney's Lookout is located. We'll switch views so you can kind of get a sense of the geography and what it looks like. All right, so Liney's Lookout to the south, and then there we are again at Brigadoon to the north. So all right, so let's zoom back out, and the last thing we'll do in this video is just kind of orient you as to some of the things you'll hear us refer to and that you may be interested in visiting. So we'll start from north to south, and I'm actually gonna try to give you different views. So I've got the satellite view here, and the north end you actually typically will walk. There's not a lot up here. It's very quiet. It's very private, but it is a beautiful walk, and it really is cool to kind of go to the Hopetown Point here on the north end, and I like to make that walk at least one time during our stay. Excuse me. And then we'll get back down further to our house and the really the hub, which is the Hopetown settlement here. And so again, there's our house. Here is the harbor, and you have the lighthouse. And the lighthouse is wonderful to go and visit. You actually will go over to Hopetown Inn and Marina using a free shuttle. They have a beautiful pool, a swim-up pool and bar, and great breakfast and dinner. And then you can actually walk right over here, kind of back behind it to the actual lighthouse. And about 99 steps to the top. Those of you that feel physically able to do that, it really is a great view, 360-degree view of the surrounding water and keys, and it's worth it. Over here we have Captain Jack's right there on the harbor, on the water. It actually is built over the water partially, and we love to visit there. One of our favorite places to go and visit. They have bingo night. They have trivia night. They have a really good, in my opinion, breakfast, and we loved to visit there multiple times. And this is really the settlement, and it doesn't do it justice here on the satellite view, but you really have from what they call the jib, which is in this area, there's an upper road and a lower road, and you see these beautiful little houses. There are some gift shops, there are some restaurants and places to visit, and it really is a gorgeous settlement. Vernon's, I just want to draw your attention to Vernon's. We're over here again close to our house near the settlement. Vernon is the gentleman that married Rainbow and I. He is the retired pastor of the Methodist Church on the island that we will visit on Sundays. And Vernon is quite the baker. So pies, bread, he literally makes them from scratch, and he will let them cool in his little kitchen out at the back of his grocery store. And so I'll draw your attention to that. And then as we head further south, I will show you right here in this area, you will see let me see if I can get there. Yep, there we go. You will see the post office dock, and right at the post office dock, you can kind of see as I zoom in, it's where you park your golf cart. So as you drive around, you have to park your golf cart here and then walk into the settlement that I just showed you to visit those locations. All right, let's head a little bit further south, and let's show you, and this Queens Highway is the kind of the main strip, main drag out of the settlement as you head south on the island. And the first thing that I will show you, if I can get there, is this On the Beach, which is on the Atlantic side. On the Beach is where we like to eat our first dinner when we get there. It literally is on the beach. It is open air. They've got great fish sandwiches, chicken, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, that kind of thing. It's part of Turtle Hill Resort, and we love to visit there a couple of times. A great place for a lunch or a dinner or to grab a drink. Really cool vibe and environment. And then you would come back out, and from Queens Highway, you'll take your golf cart typically on what they call Center Line Road. They don't get creative with their names. Centerline Road literally cuts through the center of the island. And this is for Julie and Shelly and her crew. But there's your house. You'll just take a ride off of Centerline Road up to Liney's Lookout. So you have a couple of really cool places here that I've got to mention as you head south. Firefly Sunset Resort is beautiful. It is probably the most upscale location, I think, on the island. They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a pool. They have several pools. They have a place you can jump into the Sea of Abaco. They shoot fireworks, I think, on the 4th of July. They have a great bar. To me, it's one of the prettiest sunset locations on the island. And then as you head further south, I'll just keep scrolling down here. Abaco Inn is one of our favorite places, my family. Great pool. Friendly people. We actually know one of the servers pretty well who takes good care of us. And my favorite drink, the Conch Pearl, is located right here at this location, but a wonderful place to visit. And then a little bit further south, here you go. Here's Sea Spray. Sea Spray was wiped out in Hurricane Dorian in 2019. You can see why. There's just maybe 100 yards separating the Atlantic Ocean from the White Sound area. But it is built back, and there is a restaurant, there is a pool, and we really look forward to visiting there. And what I'll tell you about all of those places that I've just shared, from Abaco Inn to Hopetown Inn and Marina, all the way to Firefly and Sea Spray, is that even though you might not be staying there, they welcome guests. And if you just purchase a drink, appetizer, a lunch, they don't mind you hanging out at their location and their pool for a long time. We've never been bothered, and they've always been very hospitable in welcoming us in doing that. And then finally, I wanted to draw your attention to the southern tip of the island. This is Tahiti Beach. Tahiti Beach is a sandbar. At low tide, you have a large area where you can access in very shallow water. We have always found beautiful shells, sea glass. We have found starfish, those sorts of things here at Tahiti Beach. A lot of people will come and anchor here on this side here of Tahiti Beach at the end of the day, their boats, and they'll just kind of wade out into the water and chill and hang out and explore. There's a swing that has been added here that people like to take pictures. It's a great picture location. And then there's a Thirsty Cuda traveling restaurant and bar that we'll visit here often, and we like to grab a drink. I think Don has had a cheeseburger from here, and so that's a really cool place to visit as well. And these are just several places that you can visit. And as I scroll back out and I kind of get us back to this larger view, I'll just tell you that's what we do. We will. Let me scroll in really quick. I lied to you. Right here at the settlement area, this area here we call North Beach, and North Beach is really our favorite place to hang out. This is right here at the Methodist Church. Um, and then the golf carts, where you park the golf carts at the post office dock. And so this stretch of beach here is beautiful. We like to wade into the water. You can see the barrier reef here at low tide. If you're a strong swimmer, you can actually go out and snorkel just right off the beach. But that's just a gorgeous location. It's also a great location to go and walk at night. Bring your flashlight, see the beautiful Hopetown sky with no light pollution, and it's just really incredible place. But that's what we like to do. You can see from north down to south to Tahiti Beach. If we spend our time at the beach and it becomes rough at high tide, then we'll just go down to Abaco Inn and spend an afternoon. Or we might go over to Hopetown Inn and Marina and spend a morning there and go over to the lighthouse and then go to the beach. We just go from place to place as we please and just enjoy all of those locations. So as I zoom out, I hope that's been helpful to orient you around the geography of Elbow Key, Great Abaco Island, and we will share more specific information as we continue to plan for our wonderful summer trip.